Welcome my dear students. Hope you are doing well. So in this video lecture tutorial we are going to talk about the nitrogen fixation and the things are how nitrogen fix by the plants and what are the symbiotic association, what is symbiosis, what is ruminant type of symbiosis. These are the things we are going to discuss in this video lecture tutorial. So first of all we are going to talk about nitrogen fixation. So basically, in this content, what is nitrogen is a very simple thing. You are very much familiar during your standard 9 and 10. You have studies the chemical formula and molecular basis of nitrogen. Why it is important is also very important because once nitrogen is fixed in the plants by different mode. So how they works actually in the plant physiology or animal physiology, that thing you need to know. So third thing is the nitrogen fixation and its types, means what are the types and what are the way they fix the nitrogen and process of nitrogen fixation. These are the contents we are going to discuss in this video lecture tutorial. It's very important. If you are watching this video very carefully, you can write down in your class notebooks one by one. Okay. So first of all, nitrogen is a dietary element derived from animal and plant protein, mainly protein. If you take proteinous food from plant and animal sources, you can have the enough amount of nitrogen in your body. Role of nitrogen is fixation, natural and synthetic, is essential for all forms of life because nitrogen is required to biosynthesize basic building blocks of plants, animal, and their life forms. Like the example, if you see about the nucleotides, if you talk about the nucleotides and nucleosides, if you talk about the DNA and RNA, means the nitrogenous bases, purine and pyrimidines. And if you talk about the amino acid, there is a amide group, NH2 group. And if you talk about the proteins, these are nothing but the amino acids. So here are the importance of nitrogen. So the major role in plants, the nitrogen is major substance in plant next to the water. It is considered as the second important thing or molecule for plants. It's next to the water, and this is also called as building block because it actually helps to develop DNA, RNA, and amino acids, and this is the thing already discussed in the previous slides. And now the constituent elements are chlorophyll, cytochrome, alkaloids. Chlorophyll is the green pigment is required for the photosynthesis. You know that cytochrome is the theory pump cytochrome by which plant actually absorb the soil water through plant roots. And alkaloids are the types of plant phytochemicals is the secondary metabolites. It also has the commercial values and many vitamins also, and also plays important role in metabolism, growth, reproduction, and heredity. So these are the points you can write in your notebook. So now is the very important thing. What is the source of nitrogen actually? The as in the atmosphere, if you say more than means near about 78% of the atmospheric air is nitrogen. In the chart, you can see the major gases in the atmosphere. 78% is the nitrogen, 21 is the oxygen percentage, and remaining 1% is carbon dioxide, argon, water vapor, and other gases. And atmospheric nitrogen 71%, plant cannot utilize this form. Actually, directly plant cannot utilize this atmospheric nitrogen. Some bacteria, blue-green algae, leguminous plants, actually they absorb this nitrogen, and through these plants, through this mode, plant actually absorb atmospheric nitrogen. And these are the forms and nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, amino acid in the soils, organic nitrogenous compound in insect is very important. So this thing you need to remember, organic nitrogenous compounds is basically commercially available in insects. So now, why nitrogen fixation is important? The nitrogen cycle is more complex than the other biogeochemical cycle because most organisms cannot use the nitrogen found in the atmosphere, even though almost not 80%, it's actually 78% of the air is nitrogen. Actually, nitrogen fixation is why important because maximum organism, the living organism, they cannot fix the atmospheric nitrogen directly from the air. That's why it is very important issue to fix it through different modes by which they can absorb. Okay. So now is the next thing is that in order in order for plants and humans to get the nitrogen they feed, the nitrogen must be converted into ammonia or amides group. Okay. So these are the forms. Now, the conversion of this atmospheric nitrogen is the unable form of ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. This is the actual definition. If you say the conversion of this atmospheric nitrogen to the usable form of ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. That means in the air there is lots of nitrogens, but you cannot fix it directly. In the form of urea, if you are able to use it through different modes, this mode is called nothing but nitrogen fixation. This nitrogen fixation can be defined as the process of creating ammonia from the atmospheric nitrogen. Is the reverse wise you can say. This is the same concept. Without this process, without this process, most plants and animals would not have this nitrogen needed to live. So if this process does not exist, the living organism they are not able to utilize the atmospheric nitrogen. So this is the most important thing. So in the picture you can see nitrates. Nitrates is the soil bacteria. They actually absorb and insert the nitrogen gas from the air. So now nitrogen fixation means is the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia is basically two types in the two way is the non-biological. Non-biological means there is no living thing, and second is the biological. Biological means using the biological organisms. And in the biological mode is further divided into two categories is the non-symbiotic and symbiotic. So these are the things you have already started in your 10 plus 2 exam. So you can understand the thing. So next is the non-biological actually. What is the biological thing and non-biological? It is the brought about the ionizing phenomena such as cosmic radiation, meteoro or trials, lightning, and volcanic eruptions. So these are the things non-biological nitrogen fixation. So if you see the volcanic eruptions from the mountain, so these are nothing but the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. So these are the non-biological example. This provides the high energy of breaking nitrogen. Okay. So next is the industrial nitrogen fixation. It is nothing but actually this process was first discovered by Haber-Bosch. That's why this is called the Haber-Bosch process and developed in Germany in the year 1914 by Fritz Haber and Karl Bosch is the full form, and this is very important for MCQ also. So this process is nothing but nitrogen and hydrogen react with the other presence of industrial catalysts that may be nickel or iron. This is the critical step. You need not to remember this step because this is not so important for your syllabus. So you can have the idea what is industrial nitrogen fixation. So it's only nitrogen with along with the hydrogen and nickel or the industrial catalyst will form and then the ammonia will form in the pressure. And biological nitrogen fixation is nothing but the use of biological things. Biological things are nothing but the use of plants, algae, microorganisms. These are the things. And Hermann Heldrigel in the and Dutch microbiologist Martinus Beijinrik, the first they discovered this biological nitrogen fixation. And here is the simple equation. You can see the reaction of biological nitrogen fixation. So biological nitrogen fixation is mostly accomplished by microorganisms called diatrophs or nitrogen fixes. They include some species bacteria, fungi, blue-green algae like spirogyra, lichens, and they actually fix the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous salts with the help of microorganisms. And that is further divided into two types, is the symbiotic and non-symbiotic. So up to this point, hope you understand. So if you repeatedly watch this video and if you make a note, your own notes, then it will be very easy for you to write in the exam if question comes from this. Thank you for watching.